Due to technical difficulties, this week's class will be extremely condensed. I've recorded a class before, but for some reason it is erased. All right, so this is just for this week. All right, but nonetheless, regardless, rain, sleet, hail, or snow, regardless of what technical difficulties we have, class will always be taught in some form or fashion. Again, I'd like to say Salakia. All right, due to technical difficulties, we're going to go ahead and record the class. What we're going to go into briefly today is we're going to go into integration. Integration was a disgusting act. It was a plot by the so-called white man to make sure we were swallowed up. The Most High said we were separate. We were above all people on the planet Earth. The so-called white man, the Caucasian in Canada, Chinese, Arab, have got together to make Toronto a multicultural place. But we are the scum that burns at the bottom. That's what we are. We're the bottom of Canadian society. This is Hosea chapter 8 and verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles, as a vessel wherein there was no pleasure. We're swallowed up. Imagine this is some water, right? Which it is. I swallowed the water down. That water aids in many different processes that go on in the body. Well, we aid the processes that go on in the Canadian government. We give nourishment to make sure Canadian society is flourishing. What will be Toronto without the Toronto Raptors? What will be Toronto without Drake putting them on the map? We are Israel. We are swallowed up. We are swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles. Now we're among the other nations. Arabs, Chinese, Caucasian, so-called European in Canada, Africans, East Indians, Japanese. All of these people are Gentiles, heathens. They are not Israelites. All right. As a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. Right. We're a vessel where there's no pleasure. They don't desire us. They disrespect us, humiliate us, murder us, beat us, cheated us. Right. So-called white man broken over 170 treaties with the North American Indians. We're a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. We get Lamentations 2 and 2. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 2. The Lord has swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob. He hath not pitied. Right, the Lord swallowed up our habitations, swallowed up the West End. You know right good and well where the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians live in Toronto. The place the Lord has swallowed up. The place the Lord has swallowed up in Haiti. That's the place the Lord swallowed up. It's destroyed. Even though it's a damn tropical resort. All right? It's a damn island near the tropics. The Dominican Republic, same thing. The Lord swallowed it up. Poor country. Many of the poorest, most violent nations on the planet Earth are right near the tropics. Central America, Caribbean. Who lives there? Israel lives there. What did the Most High say He would do to Israel? He'd swallow us up. All right. Jacob lives there as well. Jacob, his name was changed to Israel. Okay. And if not pity, He hath thrown down in His wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. It's like it. He hath thrown down in His wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He polluted the kingdom. The Most High made sure whatever we did wouldn't work. And He made sure we were integrated. And it's a curse from the Most High. Let's drop to verse 5. The Lord was like an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed His strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. Right. Depression is increased amongst us. Suicide rate amongst Native American Indians, First Nations, is second to none in Canada. It is second to none in Canada. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American Indian man. Rate of child molestation, of rape amongst a black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian woman is second to none in Canada. All right, He's increasing us mourning, and He's increasing us lamentation. The Lord swallowed us up. The Lord made sure that in a multicultural, in a mixed society where no one was really the majority, like Toronto is a city that's like that, He made sure we were on the bottom, burning at the bottom of the melting pot, as they like to call it. All right, let's get verse 16. Lamentations 2 and 16. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day we have looked for. We have found, we have seen it. They hiss. This is where black people live in Toronto. Lock your doors, kids. This is where the Haitians live. They speak that old Negro French. That Ebonics French. That patois is not a real language. They hiss. Gnash their teeth. And they swallowed us up. They say this is the day we've looked for. The day they've looked for is the day they can have a multicultural society and they can have us at the bottom. Multicultural society, we're being moved out because we can't afford rent in Toronto. That's the day they've looked for. Psalms 83, it says they've taken crafty counsel against thy people. Integration was crafty counsel taken out by the so-called white man, so-called Arab, so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese against the children of Israel. Why? Why? Because it usurps our true place. Our true place is to be on top of all nations on the planet Earth. To prove the validity of that, let's get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Let's prove the validity of this. All right? Because the Canadian school system, the Canadian collegiate university system doesn't teach this. All right? But this is the Most High's education, the Most High's program. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. We're above all people on the face of the earth. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American, Indian man. We're not set to be equal. We're set to be above all people on the face of the earth. All right? Above them. Not equal to, but above them. Integration is not of the Most High, but it is of Satan. All right, let's get Genesis, the 11th chapter, to find out what the Lord thinks about people in different races that gather together. All right, and what different races, when they gather together, what do they gather to do? They gather to play spades and go to Tim Hortons and grab a milkshake? Let's find out. This is Genesis chapter 11 and verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. The whole earth of one language and of one speech, meaning they were all on the same page. When they were all on the same page, they got together to build. Let's find out what they came to build. Was it a McDonald's franchise? Was it a Canadian consulate? Was it a ice hockey rink? Let's find out. This is verse 3. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. They wanted to make a tower to reach unto heaven. They wanted to make a tower to reach unto heaven, to set themselves up as a god. When other nations gather together, they gather together to attempt to usurp the authority, to take the authority from God. How do they try to take the authority from God? God said that if a man lies with a man, he lies with a woman, he should be put to death. It is an abomination. It's a disgusting act. Canada says it's an alternative lifestyle, makes rainbow flags, and makes a place called the Toronto Village. All right? The white man in Canada, the European in Canada, says that pork is the other white meat. The Lord said, of their flesh we should not eat. When talking about pork or the swine. Of their flesh we should not eat. All right? Whenever the other nations get together, understand this, it is only to usurp the authority, to attempt to go against the Most High, and it always fails. It always fails. The Lord confounded their language in Genesis, the 11th chapter. We're going to prove it. This is Genesis chapter 11, verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. The Lord wanted to confound the languages of the people so that they would not be on one accord. The Lord does not want people on one accord. He wants them separate. He wants Israel at the top ruling. All right? Let's get Leviticus 20 and 6, because we're taught that it's okay to be amongst all different nations of people, to act just like them. This is Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. We're not everyone's. We're not Canada's. We're not the United States. We're not Mexico's. We are the Most High's. We are the Most High because the Most High severed us. He violently cut us off from the European, violently cut us off from the African, violently cut us off from the Arab, from the Chinese, the Japanese, Pakistani, Ethiopian, all right? Pacific Islander. He's violently cut off the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian from them. And we should separate from Canadian society. What do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? We don't mean rebel against Canada and pick up guns. That's stupid. That's idiotic. All right? Don't commit any crime in Canada. Don't speed. Don't cross a red light. Buckle your seatbelt. Don't steal. Don't rob. Don't do anything against the Canadian government's rules. All right? But chiefly follow the Most High God's law, statutes, and commandments. Follow the law, statutes, and commandments of this book, black man, Hispanic man, Native American, Indian man, and you won't come under the subjection of the so-called white man's governments, of his tribunals, of his police forces. All right? Because the Lord, the Most High, won't allow it if you're obeying him. If we're obeying him. He severed us from other people. Let's get Ezekiel 36:3. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 3. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord God, because they have made you desolate, and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. We're taken up in the lips of talkers. We're the murderers in Toronto. Over 100 murders, nearly 100 murders last year, many of them committed by Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. All right, we're in the lips of talkers. We're infamous. Infamous for being what? Sluts and whores, murderers and drug dealers. We're taken up in the lips. All right? We were swallowed up. Who swallowed us up? The heathen. So-called European man chiefly. Caucasian, all right, who's really the Edomite according to the Bible. He's made sure that we were swallowed up. We become a possession. In a multicultural society like Canada, like Toronto, like Montreal, we are the possession. We're the possessions of those lands. We're on the bottom. We're that stuff at the bottom of that melting pot that's burning. That's burning and dying. All right? Verse 4, it's like, let's get down to verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, and with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. They've carved up our land. Our land is the Middle East. They've carved it up to Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Jordan, Syria, the state of Israel, Iraq, and Iran. The so-called white man carved it up. The British carved that up after World War II. They've carved up our land. They've cast us out. Idumea was chief in this. Who was Idumea? Idumea is the Greek name for the Edomites. Who are the Edomites? The people you know today as the so-called Caucasians. All right, the Europeans of Canada, the French, German, Russian. They are the Idumeans. They were chief in making sure we were scattered and we were swallowed up. They are the chief in this integration policy. With that being said, the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, established since 1969. We've been teaching the truth that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the Israelites. We are under the authority of Commandant General YAHANNA. We are not affiliated nor associated with any Hebrew Israelite group. We are the home of the truth. I'm priest and officer of 1000 Abun, camp and school leader of Canada. You can reach me at +1 484 687 7040. Again, +1 484 687 7040 on WhatsApp. You can email us at isupkcanada@gmail.com. All right, and subscribe to this channel to get all the exclusive information and content. Classes will resume next week. We're going to have camp, live street speaking, all right, at 220 Dundas Street, or 220 Yonge Street, excuse me. It's going to be at Yonge and Dundas Square, right outside of the Lush department store, right outside the Lush department store next to the H&M. Saturday, July 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The I.S.U.P.K will be teaching the truth of the Bible there, and then we'll have class from 3 to 5 p.m. at Falstaff Community Center. Again, at the Falstaff Community Center, live class after the live camp. All right, live scripture breakdown class from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Falstaff Community Center. All of this will take place Saturday, July 13th, 2019. With that being said, Shalom.